Tonight we time travel even further than before, and we are going to go to 1983. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name remains Beth, and I like to talk about music. Tonight we are going to be traveling back to 1983 to listen to Madonna's self-titled album. Now, first of all, if you are new here, I started Madonna's discography in a random point in it, and I'm kind of going all over the place and just going where the wind takes me. So I've completed sort of the middle of her discography, and now we are going back to the beginning, to the roots. I know I haven't been going in chronological order, but I felt like I wanted to do the old stuff before the super new stuff. So we are going to be going back to her very first body of work, released in 1983, 10 songs, which I was surprised it wasn't longer. If you take out the remixes that I won't be listening to, it's actually only 8 songs. So tiny little baby album. I do know at least 2 songs off this album. I know Borderline and Holiday, and you know, growing up I would hear them on the radio. I was never a fan of either song. So going into this album, I'm not sure if I'm going to like it or not. I also don't listen to a ton of 80s music. As I've kind of discussed before, I'm very hit or miss with 80s music. I feel like there's 80s music I love. Sometimes I love that whole vibe, and when artists in modern day bring that vibe back. And then there are other times where I just can't get into it for the life of me. So it kind of depends on the situation, but as always, gonna go in with an open mind. Another thing I wanted to say is just, I've been doing a lot of reflecting upon Madonna lately. I am really loving getting into her music. She's the only artist that I feel like uber excited about right now. And I'm not saying I'm not excited about other stuff, but like, I don't know, I'm having a Madonna moment. I'm having a Madonna summer, like it's happening. And I'm just so thankful that you guys are here for this journey with me and we can talk about her music together, because honestly, it would not be nearly as fun if I was just discovering this music on my own and not really having anyone to talk to about it. So thank you for being here and for all your comments and for all your support. I really appreciate it. What have I been reflecting on? Thank you so much for asking. Deeper and Deeper, I think, is one of the best pieces of music I have ever heard. I am obsessed with that song. It is actually my #1 favorite off of Erotica as of right now. I cannot stress enough how much of a masterpiece I think that song is. Rain was my initial favorite on Erotica. I still think it's a gorgeous song, but it's definitely kind of moved down in my ranking. Unfortunately, I know, I was like the Rain stan of the century, and I still love the song. I still think it's beautiful, but Deeper and Deeper is really just growing on me with every single listen. Second thing, Madonna, I think, is one of the most interesting artists that I have ever encountered. Every single album has a totally different atmosphere, a totally different message, very conceptual albums, which I really love. Third of all, I think it makes sense that I am not the biggest fan of the song Bedtime Story after you guys told me that Bjork wrote it. If you know, I've mentioned before on my channel, I'm not a huge fan of Bjork. Doesn't mean it's not good, it's just not really my thing. It's definitely a cool vibe and it has its place on the album. I just don't think it's ever going to be my song. Third of all, Take a Bow is also one of my faves right now, obviously off Bedtime Stories. Gorgeous song. I had an out-of-body experience with it at 3 a.m. last night, and I really needed to go to sleep, but I just could not stop listening to that song. I'm not over the vocals on that song. I don't think I will ever be over the vocals on that song. Another thing that I'm not over is the beat of Love Tried to Welcome Me. And I just want to say, if that is an underrated song, I'm here to rate it. That is one of my top favorites on Bedtime Stories, which yes, I have been listening to Bedtime Stories a lot. We're kind of getting into the albums from Madonna that I've really liked and found a lot of replay value with. And then the final thing I'll say is that I did not realize that the song Inside of Me is about Madonna's mother. So when I said that I hated it, it's just mainly, you know, the sonics of it I just don't really like. All that to say, let's get into the 1983 self-titled, starting with the song Lucky Star. I was definitely just beamed up to another planet. Just waste no time getting into it.
You must be my lucky star. I just think of you and the stars to glow. Starlight, starlight, the stars sing tonight.
I think I've heard that part before.
Yeah, you must be my lucky star.
we're clapping. We're clapping.
'Cause I know you're gonna make everything alright.
Slapping me. Just slapping me with sounds. But I'm kind of here for it. I actually really like this so far. Yeah, that kind of 80s dance music. Really fun. Some more like raw vocals too, than what I've heard before. So intrigued to continue to see how the vocals go on this album, because they are going to be different. I know someone commented the vocals of this earlier music can be a bit angrier, a bit raspier, which I am excited about. Already kind of hearing that energy.
In your heavenly body tonight.
Love this.
You may be my lucky star, but I'm the luckiest by far. You may be
Hear those vocals.
Come on, shine your heavenly body tonight.
Lots going on. Just lots of layers.
'Cause I know
It definitely sounds like in a lot of her songs there's different background vocalists that are featured and have their little moment to shine. You guys mentioned Babyface. Babyface. My vocal king. He was featured on some of the songs on Bedtime Stories, but not really mentioned on Spotify, you know, so I would guess that's a similar vibe to what's happening here. I actually have no idea who produced this album. Okay, so this album was produced by another funly named person, Reggie Lucas, John Jellybean Benitez, Mark... Oh, that's probably multiple names. Reggie Lucas, John Jellybean Benitez, and Mark Kamens, as well as, you know, Madonna. Dance pop post-disco. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is.
what you do to me, baby.
Ooh.
You got to stay by my side tonight. What you do to me, baby. Stay by my side.
Yes. I need more vocals like that. Super open, super low. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot more than I thought I would, actually. Yeah, honestly, I enjoyed that more than I thought I would. Mainly like the first half of the song, I would say. That's where it really shone. Once we got past those first couple minutes, I'm like, okay, she's getting a little bit repetitive. Lots of layers to the production that were really fun. I don't think her vocals on it were like my favorite way that I've heard her sing. You guys say something about Avita. I don't know who that is. I think she vocally trained to do something different with her voice to bring this softer edge to it over time. And so the albums that I've covered, I believe, have mainly been that softer style of singing that I've really, really loved. This is just a different vibe. So I'm interested to see if that continues or if maybe I'll kind of adapt to it as we go. But the next song is called Borderline, and Borderline. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I've heard it, haven't listened to it in probably 10 years. Just the complete opposite of the first track. Lullaby vibes. Yep. It's taking me back. Kind of a contrast between the high and the low parts of that.
Something in the way you love me won't let me be.
This is so nostalgic.
Stop playing with my heart. Finish what you start.
Really soaring vocals.
Fool around. Just try to understand. I'm
Giving all I can. It's coming back.
baby, let it show.
This is just like a totally different atmosphere of her voice. Like she is up in the stratosphere.
Keep on pushing my love over the borderline. Feels like I'm going to lose my mind.
The song is starry. Definitely a choral element to the vocals again, especially those backing vocals. She always kind of has the choral backing element. Some really cool like synthy sounds.
I'm giving all I can
There's a desperation.
of me.
comes down for that chorus.
You just keep on pushing. Look what your love has done to me.
This is like kind of a merging of an 80s club vibe with the piano, like music box, very romantic kind of sound of bedtime stories. It's like they had a baby, and that's this song. And there's the church.
You cause me so much pain. I think I'm going insane.
Oh, I really love that. Sometimes she'll just completely do something, like it'll fade out, and usually a fade out is just a repetition of whatever was going on in the song. But I've noticed with her fade outs, she will bring a completely new thing in. So you really have to pay attention, or you'll miss it. Okay, I mean, it's a cool song, and I don't dislike it nearly as much as I once did. I enjoyed listening to it in this moment. Is it like my song? No. It's just not. But that's it. But I really like the vocals. I mean, she was in a completely different stratosphere of her voice. Thought that was really pretty. It was fun. Like, it had a fun vibe, a fun feel, kind of a mixture of a bunch of different vibes and sounds. Okay, the next one's Burning Up. We're getting some Jonas Brothers. Why? Why not, actually? Bring me an electric guitar. Oh, that production's gonna end me.
Don't put me off, 'cause I'm on fire, and I can't quench my desire. I'm burning up for your love, and I deserve the imposition, but you don't even know I'm alive. I'm burning up. I'm burning up for your love.
A lot of synths going on. A lot of really high-pitched synths.
For your love. The door, well, that only makes me want you more, to justify my wanting you. Come on, let go. I'm burning up.
Let go, and then the guitar just lets go. Some really fun instrumentals going on this album.
Burning up for your love. For your love. Bending over backwards now, would you be pleased? I'm like the others, I'd do anything.
Very unique flow to this one, very unique cadence. It's kind of like this talk singing energy. I really like it. I just love this thing, this pulsing thing.
Come on, let go.
The electric guitar is throwing me off. I don't fully see it working with the rest of the song. Like,
Do you wanna see me down on my knees?
insane instrumentals in this album already. We've gotten just insane instrumentals throughout the entire thing. So, high respect for that. She loves a fade ending. Fade endings are her love language. She always does really cool vocals in her fade outs, and I don't know what that's about. She almost hides them in the fade out, because when I'm listening to a song, if I know that it fades out, I'm likely to just skip the ending. But I'm really not able to do that, because, you know, she will just sneak something in there. Okay. It was fun. You know, I don't know how I felt about all the elements of the song together. I liked the electric guitar on its own. I liked the beat on its own. I liked her vocals on its own. You know, I liked every element of the song separately. I was struggling a little bit to see how they fit together in my mind, and I think it kind of tripped me up. Maybe it's just different than what I was expecting. Like, I definitely was not expecting an electric guitar to come into this album at all. So maybe just need to readjust and reevaluate my expectations. But the next one is called I Know It. What kind of instruments are being brought into my midst?
I don't know why I thought that you could make me
feeling this album, I mean, already is so diverse sonically. There's so many different instruments, so many different vibes present. Listening to this, like, there's an element of it that really does kind of bring you back to that time. It's just kind of crazy to think about how the music landscape has changed. There is a richness to old music that sometimes I worry is getting lost in all the TikTok, viral songs that are just like, you listen to them for 5 minutes and then you get bored and you move on. There's kind of a richness to like Madonna's music that I'm sensing is very unique. With that being said, there's plenty of music that maybe lacks that richness that I absolutely love. Something I've kind of been reflecting on.
You grabbed your coat and you were out the door, and now I know you take your love and run.
Okay. Oh. Yeah. I'm not used to having this many instruments in my ear at any given moment. This is a lot to take in. And this is also just kind of the opposite of bedtime stories for me. Like, bedtime stories, super seamless. Everything just made sense. And I'm not saying that this doesn't make sense or that it's bad, but it just has a completely different feel to me than bedtime, like an album like Bedtime Stories, where it's just kind of unpredictable. It's just kind of like wild and all over the place, and I'm just kind of like going along for the ride. So a bit different for me. This is a bit different than my typical, my typical thing.
Just proving me wrong. Yeah.
Saxophone.
The things we've said and done. I'll stand here while you count the battles you have won. I know you're gonna turn around and say goodbye. I know it, but I'm not gonna cry.
More of this kind of soaring vocal that I really like.
I know you're gonna take your love and run.
I'm kind of getting an ABBA vibe from this. I think it's that layered vocal, that chanting kind of feel. For some reason, I just thought of Mamma Mia and the ABBA song in that movie. Kind of random. I can't decide how I feel about this one. Kind of has this marching, chanty feeling, similar to the vibe I got from Deeper and Deeper.
I know you're gonna take your love and run. Take your love and run from me. Is this the way love's supposed to be?
Yeah, kind of gave me the feeling of running or just like marching. I don't know how I felt about that song with a title like I Know It. I just don't know. Part of me loved it and part of me was not into it, and I can't describe it better than that. Reading the Wikipedia page, critics have said that this album helped to make dance music popular again and set the standard of dance pop for decades afterwards. Said it influenced Janet Jackson, Kylie Minogue, and Lady Gaga. I am a Gaga fan. I'm well aware that a lot of Madonna fans don't like Gaga, and probably vice versa. I don't know. It's kind of frustrating to me that people just constantly pit women against each other, especially in the industry, because I feel like that same thing would not apply to two male artists who are also maybe inspired by one another or had a similar vibe. Anyway, it has no place on my channel. I will be supporting both Madonna and Gaga and whoever else I choose. Anyway, I don't know what the music scene was like at this time, so it's hard when I'm not in the year that this album came out and I don't know what the industry was doing. I can't see what other albums are out and compare it and see that it brought dance music back. All I can do is say that I believe you. I believe that this could have brought back dance music. I do think it's very well produced. I do think it is a really cool sound and a really cool vibe and a really cool energy. I just don't know yet if it's going to be something that I connect with. I just can't decide. Part of me really likes it and part of me is just not sure how to feel. Holiday is next. This was a song that I heard a lot growing up, so another kind of revisit. Holiday, if it can be so nice. Kind of a natural kind of like a natural feel mixed in with a synthetic feel. I really like that. register. Oh yeah. It would be so nice.
It would be so nice.
I do want to say there's just so many layers to the production of this album. You experience so many different sensations washing over you, and I think that is why it's a bit harder for me to take this in, because I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. I'm experiencing different atmospheres that are kind of being created, and so it's just taking me a minute to like register all of it.
We're gonna have a celebration.
Good instrumental on this one. That's still like a party celebration song.
Oh yeah, one day to come together to release the pressure. We need a holiday.
Has a really subdued flow, honestly. There's not a ton of build. But I really like this vibe.
You can turn this world around. Let love shine. And we will find a way to come together. Can make things. We took a holiday. Some celebrate. Just one day out of life.
Very funky, very alien. All right. Very interesting. Again, kind of a contrast to this one between like the supernatural sounding drums and instrumentation and then that spacey sci-fi sound. Not even sci-fi. I don't know, just alien. Weird kind of mixture. I mean, it's not weird, but it's just different. There's a shooting star going through my head. Okay, sure. Oh, I like this. I feel like I should like walk down a street with a model walk.
I'm getting tired of waiting around. I feel like I'm always tracking you down. I don't.
Production.
You're forgetting is what you better do. You better think of me. It won't be long before you think of me. 'Cause I'll be gone and then you'll think of me. Oh yeah.
A lot of like kind of yelling vocals, soaring vocals on this album. Ooh, I love this one. I love this one. This is the first one that's really felt like my song.
And you see me crying, you apologize.
Feels kind of expensive. Kind of like Bad Girl.
You're gonna lose me too if you don't know what's good for you. Think of me. It won't be long before you think of me.
Love that.
Tell me what I did to you. Walking out the door, you better think of me. 'Cause I'll be gone and then you'll think of me. Oh yeah, you better think of me. Oh yeah.
Kind of a rasp to that. Sax. See? Again, it kind of feels out of place to me. Maybe it's just not my thing, but like, it's a cool solo. It's a saxophone solo. It's a cool solo. I'm just like, why is it on this song of all the songs?
So fine. Hey boy, I'm waiting on a sign. Don't you know there's someone else?
Flirty. That's one of the coolest sounds. We're not done with that. We're really not done with that. Probably my favorite so far. I really like the feel of it. I will say it dragged a little bit for me, and by the end of the song, I was beyond ready to move on. But overall, probably my favorite. Super catchy, super fun. I just loved that production so much, except for the saxophone. It didn't really make sense to me. That's all there is to it. The next one is called Physical Attraction. Definitely my least favorite so far. I can already tell I'm probably gonna cut out most of that because I was just sitting here not saying anything, not having any sort of interesting reaction, just not really into it. It just didn't really stand out to me. There's nothing unique that really grabbed me. But we're on the last track that I will be listening to, which is called Everybody, original version. I don't see another song on this album called Everybody, so I'm guessing this is just... I actually don't know where this song is from. The rest of the tracks on the album are just remixes. I'm not going to be reacting to those, but I figured I would check this out since it seems like it's a different song entirely from the rest of the tracks. Okay, kind of a sci-fi bop.
I knew you've been waiting. Yeah, I've been watching you. Yeah.
So, is this where the whispering originated?
Everybody, come on, dance and sing. Let the music take control. Let the music take you. Everybody, come on, dance and sing. Everybody, everybody.
Okay, so we ended kind of on a negative note. I couldn't really vibe with the last few tracks. I will say, I think there are some really strong songs on the front half of this album that I'm really glad that I checked out, and I'm really glad that I listened to, because it opened my eyes to the fact that, I don't hate Borderline and Holiday as much as I once did. It also was cool to see, her roots and kind of where she came from, and hear an album that has influenced the dance music community a lot and influenced some artists that I really, really love. Obviously, not really my album overall, but I knew going in that there was a chance that I wasn't going to connect as much as I have some of her other albums. And if you're new here, I do want to stress, this is not my first Madonna album. There are albums I have reactions to up on my channel that I loved so much more than this album. So this was definitely my least favorite so far of the albums that I've heard. I think the interesting and unique sonics all lived on like the first few tracks. I mean, Lucky Star, Borderline, Burning Up, Holiday all had such cool atmospheres and cool vibes, and just stuff that stood out to me more. I felt like by the time we reached the 6th through 8th track, every trick in the book had kind of been used, and we were just getting like this very repetitive, sonically less interesting landscape, more watered down production. And I will just stress that this is not 1983, this is 2024. So maybe at the time that this was released, if I was listening to it then, I could have a different experience, but listening to it in 2024, this is my opinion on it. Yeah, but I'm not mad that I listened to this album by any means. I think there was some really, really cool stuff that went down in the first few tracks, and I could definitely appreciate it. Like, even though it wasn't necessarily my usual style of music, it's probably not something I'm gonna go play on a loop in my car like I have been with her other albums. I definitely was able to like appreciate it and recognize that it was really well made. It had so much going on that was really interesting and captivating and unique. Lots of different atmospheres, lots of like chaotic little moments. So that's kind of how I would stack it up. Like, I don't think it was bad by any means. I just think it was very hit or miss. I do hope to do like her other 80s albums in chronological order. So my hope is to finish those and then to go back, maybe do Rebel Heart, and then maybe do like the newer albums. I'm still kind of figuring it out. I straight up flipped a coin before this reaction to see which album I should react to, and it actually landed on Rebel Heart, but I realized that that song was, that album was 24 songs long, and it is literally 1 in the morning, and I have work tomorrow, so that was not going to work out. I am gonna go ahead and say, if this had been the first album that I had heard from her, like the first album that I ever reacted to, I definitely would not have felt compelled to do more music from her. I'm really glad that that was not the case, because I think me getting into her music in the middle was perfect for me, because I love those albums so much that I am now fully invested in, checking out an album that might not be my favorite. But I hope you still enjoyed my reaction. I really do. I'm probably not gonna rank it. If I do, I'll let you know. But thank you so much for being here, for being on this journey with me, for being on my Madonna journey with me. I look forward to more reactions, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.